You may say they're damaged goods. Tony Blair for Iraq, George Osborne to a lesser extent for his Project Fear budget. You may howl the toxic twosome. But I hope that the rumours are true about a Blair project to galvanise the centre ground against the Brexiteers, and that George Osborne will be on the same side too. We now know that the bill for Brexit is nearly £60 billion. So we need strong voices to insist that the British public is given an opportunity to judge whether the deal they get after Article 50 is better than the deal they have at the moment. We need powerful, internationally known politicians to make sure that the machinery of government isn't going to be consumed by Brexit. And we need articulate, experienced operators to make sure we don't end up worse off economically, politically and diplomatically. So come back, Tony and George. And yes, even Peter Mandelson, the best trade commissioner the EU has had. All is forgiven.
OK, so let's just get this right. So we need a liar, a toxic man that everybody hates, that went down as history as somebody who effectively lied to the nation, took us to war. Yeah. And you think that out of the 17 million people who wanted to stay in Brexit, that's the best you can do, Rachel?
It's the best we have available at the moment.
That's
I mean,
sad.
Who else is coming forward? We've got the hard right wanting a hard Brexit on one side, and we've got the hard left wanting hard left stuff on the other side, and there's absolutely nothing going on in the middle. Theresa May is executing Brexit, so I think it's a brilliant opportunity.
A brilliant
opportunity for an experienced politician like Blair. Listen, I'm not mad about the man myself, but I think it's fantastic that he's prepared to come back and articulate the position of
Rachel,
16.5 million people who are in...
we can do.
We're facing a catastrophe, James.
No, we are, but I'm just disappointed that he is the only person we can think of to get us out of this mess.
Then. You come and get us out of the mess.
No, I want to do Strictly first. I'm not doing it until I do. No, I'm just surprised that, you know, when I look at the media, I mean, they detest him. Every article I've seen...
Can I just say it's not just him. There's going to be a coalition that's going to congeal quite soon. It's going to be a lot of very important people, plus Osborne,
but he's not
Mandelson,
saying he's coming back into
John
politics.
Major might come in.
And we need, first of all, to clarify that you can't necessarily say that he's a liar, even though a lot of people don't like him. But, Rachel, I can see your logic. So what you're doing is you're saying... Greg's suggesting that we just make politics a big popularity contest. So you're saying, I know, let's just choose the most unpopular politician anyone can think of.
I'm not saying we should choose him. He's saying, I'm prepared to come back into public life because this is really important.
Well, I read your column this week, and, you know, so at the risk of being a Jewy 30-year-old bragging about my age, I remember I was doing my A-levels when Tony Blair got elected. No, actually, I was doing my GCSEs. I was just doing my GCSEs.
Stop showing off, Afra.
When Tony Blair got elected.
I was still in the
point that I want to make, I remember 1997 so well, because it was my first moment where politics really meant something to me. And I remember coming into school and everybody being excited and energised, and everybody kind of investing in this sense of hope. You know, it was a real turning point. And I think for my generation, Tony Blair represents the long, slow, painful disillusionment that we have in politics today, because all the things he promised us that awoke us politically turned out to be bogus. You know, and the Iraq War is not to be written off. It radicalised a generation, and it alienated a generation. And the idea that he could be the solution when he represents so many people feeling alienated by politics, it just doesn't make any sense.
Don't shoot the messenger. OK, all you're doing is shooting the messenger. What I want us to talk about is the message that Tony Blair might be able to bring across. Greg?
Well, I go back a long way with Blair. I mean, I helped fund his original leadership campaign, you know, back when you were in primary school. And then, of course, I fell out with him massively when I was running the BBC and had an enormous bust-up, and thanks to him, I got kicked out of the building. I have to say...
so nothing personal, then?
Nothing personal, no. So I should be the most hostile to this proposal. And I would have been for a long time until I watched the Brexit discussions and the Brexit campaign, and I thought, God, if Blair had been leading Remain, we'd still be Remain, because Blair, for whatever you like about him, was a brilliant politician, and nobody nobody in that Brexit campaign, I think, saw that in the referendum, saw that Brexit could win, and they certainly ran a terrible campaign. Blair wouldn't have run a campaign like that. So there's a bit of me says, much as I dislike the guy, and much as I don't trust him, actually, we might need him.
Yeah. And before, I want to spike Nick's guns, because I think I'd like to play a clip of actually what Tony Blair's saying before you say he's trying to deny the will of the people and calling for a second referendum.
So,
really? You've got time to rethink now? Let's see what Tony Blair has to say.
This is not about an elite overruling the people. It's about saying, let's take this decision. As we see its consequences, let's scrutinise them, debate them, and keep all our options open. And that is the sensible thing to do in these circumstances. Those of us who believe this is a catastrophe for the country, and I do believe that, by the way, for political as well as economic reasons, we've got no right to force our view on everyone else, but we do have the right to carry on debating and arguing and persuading.
This is really important. Yesterday we heard that Brexit's going to cost $60 billion. We were on course for a surplus in 2020 if we hadn't had Brexit. Now we are having Brexit. We're 122 billion down on every economic measure. Growth is going to be down 2.4%.
I find the people that you've chosen absolutely extraordinary. Tony Blair, George Osborne, Peter Mandelson,
John Major.
Did you forget Gordon Brown and Hannibal Lecter? Presumably we can bring them in as
bring
well.
Bring them in.
Blair has
anything
no
at this point.
Listen to what I've... Blair has no currency at all. He is at the very best economical with the truth. I'll just leave you one... No, hold on, it's all very well signed. Chilcot. Right, that does. As for George Osborne, he probably engineered this Brexit in the first place.
That is not true. He opposed the referendum.
With a ridiculous apocalyptic budget that just had people saying, do you know what, stop bullying me like that. If you think they would actually, I think it was James's point, they would actually harden it even more. Now, does it need someone with a great deal of skill, someone like that to come in and to work out and to make sure? I don't disagree with that. I'm on your side there. But the ones you've chosen are risible.
You're just aiming at these politicians again for their reputation. Well, now, what I said is we need articulate politicians to articulate the case for the centre ground and a very, very, very soft Brexit.
Is it really about the campaign? I mean, I'm asking it as a question, I agree that I think Tony Blair would have run a better Remain campaign than the shambles that we had. And I'm as much in the Remain camp as you. But I question whether it really is about the campaign and how well it's run, and actually whether that would have made any difference. For me, when I talk to people who feel strongly about Brexit, I can't imagine a campaign that would have actually changed their minds. It was a protest vote. It was their chance to stick a finger up at the establishment. It was based on all of these deep-seated grievances. I don't think that they would have fallen for the kind of slick political spin that we saw from Mandelson and Blair, and that would have changed their minds.
But you didn't have to... they only just won. They only just won. 2% going the other way, and you've got the thing... square. And honestly, I think a different sort of campaign for Remain would have won this.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't know. We're a divided nation, People I speak to on both sides are so deeply entrenched in their positions, and it feels like that division is real, and it's not so much about political manipulation.
The campaign that would have won it is
like
security. We're safer together. We're safer within Europe than we are out. We're safer against terrorism. We're safer against international, economic, or whatever it might have been. As it was, that was never played. That was never really played. I really think, having spoken to tons of people on the radio about this for many, many weeks and months, that would have been, as Greg said, if you pick the right target. And I think security it would have been possibly a totally different picture.
Yeah, I mean, the problem Blair is going to have if he does this role.
It's not going to just be Brexit. It's going to be the centre ground for
the centre ground. But the problem he's got is that for the whole period of when he was Prime Minister, we embraced globalisation. And actually, what's happened is a reaction against globalisation. Because globalisation in both America and in Britain. Because what globalisation means in Britain is that a lot of people in certain towns and cities lost their jobs. Exactly the same as what happened in America. That you've seen Trump got elected because he appealed to those people who suddenly said, where's my future? They've closed the steelworks, they've closed the iron ore, they've closed... What do I do now?